Hey Flosstube, it is Michelle McGraw from Made by Michelle McGraw, and this is Flosstube number 35. So this Flosstube is going to be a little bit different than my normal Flosstube. So my normal Flosstube I try to do every 2 weeks, and I show my whips, I show my haul, I show plans, fabric, all of that kind of stuff, all the Flosstube-y stuff. This one, I am going to mainly concentrate on my cross stitch boards. So every time I show my cross stitch boards, I get a ton of questions about them. And I thought it would be great to do a video just focusing on the cross stitch boards. I do have a little bit of haul, so I'm going to show you those. I've been waiting on some of this to come in. I'm super excited that it's here. So I will show that at the end in case you're not interested. But this is going to be all about my cross stitch boards. They are super easy to make, and I will tell you how to do them and show you what you need, and let's get to it. So I have moved because I have sun coming in, I have a dishwasher going, and the yard guy is supposed to be here to do a big thing on the front flower bed, so hopefully we can get through this without too much noise. You can see the sun coming in. I'm kind of angled over, so this is, well, Leo's gonna come. He was on the dog bed. He's gonna come up here. I don't know if he's gonna come sit by me. Maybe. Yeah, he's gonna ignore me. It's okay. Anyhow, all right, so let me get started off with showing my cross stitch boards as they're hanging in my house. Well, I took them off the wall. So when I show my cross stitch boards, it is really hard for me to get good pictures of my cross stitch boards. I put my cross stitch boards always on small walls. So those walls are always near doors. You have these teeny tiny walls. You don't know what to do with them. I have my cross stitch boards on them. With that said, it's really hard to take, there's the cat. Say bye to the non-cat, Sammy. It's hard to take pictures, good pictures of my cross stitch boards. There is one board that's in my kitchen that I can never get a good picture of because even though we have really good lighting in my kitchen, it sits beside a window. So as I try to take the pictures, I can't get it. So hopefully it'll show up in the video and you can see that board. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with my first board, which is my medium-sized board. I would call this medium, and it's all done in black. So it holds 4 frames. All of my current boards hold 4 frames. And I'll talk about the frames in a little while. So that is my fall cross stitch board that I have the stuff on. I think I have a picture of this out on Instagram. My Instagram is Made by Michelle McGraw. So if you'd like to go see it, it's on there. And this one my husband made me. So I'll go over the differences in some of my boards in a little bit. I'll show you the next one. This is the hardest one to show. This is the one that sits in my kitchen beside the door and beside the window. It is my biggest board. So I'm going to start up here, and it goes all the way down. The reason why this board is so big is because the peg length between here and here fits larger frames. So several years ago, I told my husband I wanted a board made that I could put bigger frames on. And so we came up with this, and I think I actually can get a 5x7 frame in here. It's tight. I have to make my loop very, very small. When I do the smaller hoops on here, I make a larger drop, so it kind of fills up the area. Obviously, I don't have to, but I like these frames on this board. So I'll show you some of my bigger frames later on. This one holds bigger frames. I love it. It expands what I can put on these boards. All right, let me move some stuff around so I can put this board down and get the other one. Okay. Excuse me. So my final board is another one which I would call medium. This is the one that my father made me years ago. So this is not a piece of wood that was bought in the store, which I'm going to show you. He made this. This is a unique shape with, I think it's called a router. I don't know. He'd like to do woodworking, so he made this board, finished it. It's very special to me. My father passed away when my first child, I was 3 months pregnant with my first child. So I love this. It has a very special spot in my house, and I'm very, very careful because it's a one of a kind. My sister and my mom both have cross stitch boards. My mom has two. She has a board that is smaller than this. So it's a tinier board. My sister has a tiny board. She has a medium board, and then she has a larger board. So I do not have the tiny one. Once my dad made, I think he started off with the tiny ones. It was very, very limiting what you could put on those. And I think I do have a size that would go on the tiny boards. And if I can remember, I will show it to you. That's why I don't have a tiny one, because I only have one set that would fit on the tiny one, and I could put it on the medium one. So we just never did tiny for me. Okay, so those are the boards, and I switched them out seasonally. Whoops, something's fixing to fall that I want to show. Okay, so I switched them out seasonally, and let me show you the boards first. So you can go to any craft store now and get these unfinished woods. And they have them in different sizes, so you kind of pick the size that you want. This would be the exact size of my medium board. Matter of fact, it looks like this is exactly the board that I got for this one, is this size. Let me see if I can show dimensions. I don't know if it's gonna be on here. This is 6 inches by 23 inches, and I can get 4 frames in there. So I think I bought this at AC Moore's. AC Moore's doesn't exist, they closed down. I know I've seen things similar at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, all your big craft stores. There is a place online that I found some boards years ago. I don't know if they're still available, but you could Google it. This is just called a pine surface. That's all that it says. Innkeeper signboard. Signboard is probably what I would search to see if something came up, a signboard at your craft store. So for an online store, I would search signboard. Okay, so this one you could make 4. You 4 frames on here. I also got the last time, sorry, I needed to drop that. I got a smaller one. This one is 6 inches by 14 inches. So this one is a smaller one. I don't know that I would put 2 on here. I might. I'm thinking I might put 1 so that I could have a long skinny one. It's a thought. I'll have to look at what I have and maybe see if I have anything that would work for this, but I will kind of finagle this a little bit. But there are different sizes, and that shows you can get different size ones. Now, you simply drill a hole in and you cut a dowel. So as you can see, I have a dowel. I look about the diameter. This is a dowel 5/16 inch by 36 inches. The 36 inches doesn't matter because you're gonna cut it. And we just cut the dowels and then we put them in. My husband drills holes. He puts them in with glue, wipes off the excess glue, sand a little bit, very, very little. So what we've done over the years is we've learned a little bit. So my dad's board, these pegs, which are the dowels, are not that big. They're okay. This one sits by my front door, and what happens is these little frames, just these are the cheap little craft ones, and I'll talk about those in a little while. Sometimes with me shutting the door, one of these will pop off. It's only because these pegs are a little shorter and these are really, really light, and it kind of goes in the corner and pops them off. I wouldn't probably have that problem anywhere else, but I do on that door. So when we made the second one, we made them a little bit longer and we angled them. So you don't have to, they don't fall off. This one never falls off. My larger board, all the frames are gonna hang. That's perfect, actually. They're a little bit longer, but we didn't angle them. So I would just say make sure you make your dowels at least a 1/2 inch, maybe to 3/4 of an inch. And if you want them extra secure, angle them. These are not glass frames. They're plastic, wood, and well, I don't even know if these are wood, but they're not gonna break. Although I do have some glass frames, so having that extra security just helps. Like I said, I always put these in an area that's on a small wall. It's normally by a door. So the possibility that they could fall off is there, I guess. I just like to have them a little more secure. So let me go over what I do to put the frames on here. And I'm going to show you both of these. These are just cheap little ones that you get. There's my cross stitch piece. Let me pull this one apart. Here is my cross stitch piece. Frame, cross stitch piece, they come apart. All right, so let me talk about the cross stitch pieces and then I'll go into frames. So this cross stitch piece, when I do it, I take whatever frame I'm going to use and I take this is plexiglass. I put it on my design piece. I kind of angle it around. I mark a little bit. I cut it. So I have my cut piece. Now, I change these out constantly. And if you were to leave it like this, these edges would fray. So what I do is I put some stop fray around the edges. Now, let me clarify this. There are two different kinds of stop fray. This is called fray check, and this is stop fray from Aleene's. This is white when it first comes out and it will dry clear. This is clear all the time. It's more liquidy. This is more creamy. I use the creamy one. This one may work. It's not what I use. So I don't know if it works for what I'm using it for. Does that make sense? You could try it. You could test a piece. I would test a scrap piece to see. But I use the Aleene's stop fray. A little goes a long way, but what I do is I put down a piece of wax paper. You could use a reusable craft sheet. The thing about the craft paper is I can pull my projects up and I can throw it away when I'm done. So what I do is I put a little puddle of this on there. I cut out my piece. I take a Q-tip, dip it in the puddle, and I go around the edges and I just dab around the edges. And I don't know that it's going to show up on camera. There is a light, if you could see, there's like a light film right here. It's almost clear, but it does leave like a little, it's not tacky, it's not sticky. It dries. You have to let it dry all the way. I put it around the edges and then I let it dry on the piece of wax paper totally. In an hour or two it dries, and then you can lift it up off the wax paper. It won't stick, and then they're done. To be extra careful, I would let it dry overnight. That's just me. I want to make sure it's completely dry. Right there, hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Right there, you can see that is stop fray. A little bit of extra stop fray. So that's what it looks like. When I have pieces, and I'll show you how I store them, the stop fray pieces will slightly stick together in the plastic bags. I just pull them apart. They never rip, they never have torn on me, it's no problem. So they're not sticky, but the stop fray will stick to each other slightly. It's not permanent once it's dry, but it will stick to each other a little bit, and I just kind of pull them apart. I will show you that when I get my other pieces out. So once this is dry, it can go in the frame, it goes on the board. Okay, same thing I do with a circular one. I would cut it out, I would go around. These are super, super old. This is probably one of my first patterns that I did out of the book. I did a ton of them. So as you can see over the years, this has held up perfectly fine. There's no problem with it. That is at least 20 years old, that piece. So it might be older than that. So no problem. I can pop them in these frames and they work just fine. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about frames. So these frames are from Pottery Barn Kids. Here's the backing. So this was they are Christmas ornaments and they come out every year. I'm sorry, the sun is reflecting. They come out every year and they have different colors, and I might be able to show you some other colors that they come out with, other shapes. I get them. I want to say that they are $7 a piece, and I think I wait for them to go 50 off when they do. This year my mom wants a set and I'll be buying her a set. As you can see through the years, this one is slightly different color. This was a newest addition to theirs. I think this was last year or the year before's color. And this one's a little bit more red, but they're still red. They're still very pretty. They have a silver. I think they have some glitter ones. I don't tend to get the glitter ones because they make a mess. You can use the little frames. There are different shapes of these frames out there as well. Let me show you some other frames that you can use. So I have not used these before, but I do want to finish a cross stitch piece. These are Allburn hoops. And Allburn Hoops is an embroidery company, but they make these gorgeous frames and they have different sizes and you could paint them if you wanted to. And you could put your finished piece in here. So you pull it out. I'm probably not gonna be able to do this on camera. Yeah, I can't do it on camera. You pull this piece out, you snap it back in and it will hold it. It would be no glass or anything like that. Allburn Hoops has a video online. There are on Instagram and you can watch her and she talks about them all the time. These are beautiful. These are a little bit big. These would not fit on my cross stitch board that I currently have. They would fit just by themselves, but they might have smaller pieces. I don't know. So I'll look and see if they have any smaller pieces. So let me show you some other frames that I have. Okay, so this is a Pottery Barn one, and this is glittery. I will tell you, I've never used them because the glitter comes off on my hand. So they are pretty, but the glitter comes off on my hand. I have a love-hate relationship with glitter. Okay, so these are some 3.5 by 5 ones that I put on my board sometimes. This is just a winter set. I'll just show you 2 of them that I've stitched up. Okay. This is a 4 by 6 frame. These also, Leo, these also work on my frames, on my boards, on my bigger board. Yes, this is why I filmed it again, because my dogs flipped out one time. No, Leo. Okay, so this is another frame. These are some other frames that I have. Hold on, please. Let's see if I can just let him out. Come here, Leo. Come on. The other 2 dogs are outside, and he wants to be outside with them. Okay, so there's some other frames that I have. So look around. You can find frames everywhere. I'm trying to... Okay, I think those are all the same. All right. Oh, wait a minute. There is a different one down here. Here's a different color in Pottery Barn. It's like a silvery gold. I actually really, really like it. So there's one there. Pottery Barn ones are one of my favorites because I know that they will work and they hold up really, really well. Okay, so let me talk about how I store them. So I have a very, very scientific way of storing these. And I mean, it's just a fantastic way. I have a 31 bin and it has all my cross stitch in here. So I store them in very scientific bags. So let me see if this set will do it. No, this isn't super sticky. Let me find another set so I can show you what I'm talking about. I stick them in the bags per the set that they are. And then they're in there. So let me see if this set will do it. No, they're not sticky either. I want to show you how they stick when I store them together, how they kind of stick together, just so that you can understand they're not sticky and it's not going to stay that way. They just pull apart. But now I'm not going to be able to find one that's like that. Let's see. No. A little bit. Right there it stuck. But it came apart. So once again, you can see I just did around the edges with stop fray. I've stored them this way for over 20 years. I know my mom has stored them this way. Never been an issue. Never had a problem. So that's how I store them. Okay, so what else was I going to show you? My frames, the way I store. I think that's it. I do have one other one, and I did not bring it over here with me. I'm not sure if there's any interest. I will show it in another floss tube. It is not a cross stitch board, but I took 4 frames and I hinged them together, and they hang on the wall. And I will show you that when I switch out my cross stitch boards and I put my fall stuff in there, because I have a beautiful Mill Hill set that I put in there for the fall. And I will show you, I will actually bring that whole unit over here and show you that. It's not just a cross stitch board, but you can do that with frames as well. You can just hinge the frames and kind of get the same look. Okay, so now that if you have any questions, leave me a message. I will try to answer those questions, and I will try to answer them in my next floss tube so that if anybody else has that question, they can get an answer. But everything you need is in a craft store, the dowel, the boards, paint it whatever color you want, have fun with it. You could do chalk paints on them. There's so many options now. So you could do tons and tons. And then, you know, you just pick up these little seasonal ones, and it's a different way to display them. Now, once you cut them, they are cut. So, you know, you've cut them to fit the frames. But I change mine out every season, and my sister does this, my mom does this, and we just enjoy having a little bit of cross stitch in areas of our house that maybe we wouldn't have decorated, or we're not using that area. We're not using this teeny tiny spot in a wall. So, all right, I'm going to show you some haul because I have been waiting on this to come in. So, I finally have in my hot little hands all of the word plays from With Thy Needle and Thread. So I bought these, and people I know are looking for these. I got a full set at the Silver Needle in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They have an online store. Right there is her sticker. And you can order them online. Now, she did call me and say, because I placed these with another order, and she said, hey, I'm missing a couple of the months they're coming. Do you want me to ship what I have, or would you like me to wait for them all to come in? And I said, you know what? This is not a project I'm starting right now. Just ship them when they all get in. No problem. They arrived, I think, maybe a week and a half later. It was crazy. She probably didn't even need to call me. I wouldn't have known. So this is January. Let's see. Oh, nope, I'm doing it upside down. Okay, January. This is February. I know we've all seen these. March. It is chaos outside. My dogs are barking. April. This is May. This is June, which I love that house. There's a good one. Okay. This is July. A little different for July, so I really kind of like that. August. September. October. November. And December. So I was super excited to get those. I'm going to be kitting those up and putting them all in a project bag together, and I'll be working on them. I'm assuming that a lot of the colors are similar, probably with some differences for different months, but I'll put them all together. Okay, the next one is a project that I have been waiting for, and I finally got it, and I'm so excited. So let me show you some of the extras, and then I'll show you the one I'm going to start. So this is Judith Kirby's Victorian House number 8. I think that's very pretty. And this is Judith Kirby's Victorian Streetscapes, the Residence and the Business. And I'm trying to see in here, this is a huge list of floss. This is a little different. Yes, both patterns are on here. It is a huge pattern, Residence and Business. But look how cute they are. I love that. So I love that one. This is another Victorian street scene, and there's one that goes with this, and I'm not sure if it's this one that you can put together. I don't think so. I think there's a different one. So I need to look. Although you might be able to put those together. That might be okay. This is a Victorian house number 13 for Christmas. This is house number 14. I'm going to show these two at the end because those are the ones I'm starting. And then this one is one that I really, really liked. And I haven't seen it a lot, the 4th of July. I thought that was really pretty. These are older out of print patterns. There is a store that has the rights to this, and I have not had success yet from them. I've contacted them and I'm waiting, so we'll see if I hear back from them. But supposedly they have all of Judith Kirby's charts. I don't know. Okay, the next one, this is the one I'm actually starting. And this is Victorian House. I think I'm going to show it the wrong way, but you'll get the picture. Victorian House number 9 and number 15. And I am so excited about this. Let me show them individually, but I will show them together. Look how cute is that with the little trick-or-treaters. I love it. And then here we have kind of the fall one as well. And this is what they look like when they're stitched together. How sweet is that? I love it. I love it. So those ones I have been waiting and I wanted to start. I thought this Christmas, oh, you know what? This Christmas Victorian scene is bigger than I thought it was. There it is. Sorry, I knew I was missing the second part of this. Isn't that cute? So I have some very good projects here that I've been wanting to do. These are getting started right away. These are gonna get a start. So I wanted to share that haul because it's kind of a haul that I've been waiting and I finally got some. So I'm super excited. This is a short floss tube. I am not doing my giveaway because I like to give people that 2 weeks to watch my video so that everybody can enter in. So I'll do the giveaway next time. Once again, if you have a question, leave me a comment. Thank you for everybody who tunes in every time I do a floss tube. It's so great. And I love being able to connect with all of you. Like and subscribe. Leave me a comment if you have any questions or if you just want to comment and talk. There you go. Thanks, guys. And I'll see you again, hopefully in another week.